Look at the headquarters of almost any major corporation right now, and you'll find humming, highly automated data centers running at peak efficiency. But follow the trail to the homes of the people who actually power those companies, and you'll find something different, tangible, keep you up at night anxiety. I'm Shannon, and this is Code Red Financial. Today, we're looking at a growing disconnect in the global economy, known as the productivity paradox. It's a scenario where corporate output is rising, while white-collar job security is heading in the opposite direction. Just a reminder before we begin, this video is for informational purposes only and does not constitute financial or investment advice. Historically, when a business found a way to do more with less, those gains eventually reached the employees through higher wages or new roles. But with the current rollout of AI, that link is weakening. Companies are seeing significant efficiency gains, but aren't using them to expand their workforce. Instead, we're entering an era where a company's bottom-line success is no longer tied to the size or the prosperity of its human staff. To see how this trend is showing up in the real world, we have to look at the recent moves made by some of the most sophisticated organizations in tech and finance. Take the payment giant Block. They recently announced another round of staffing cuts, and they didn't hide behind corporate buzzwords. They stated clearly that AI is allowing them to reach their goals with a smaller total headcount. Citigroup is being even more direct. CEO Jane Fraser has discussed using technology to eliminate roles that once required human judgment. They have a target to cut tens of thousands of positions over the next few years as automation takes over the heavy lifting. This chart tracks the multi-billion-dollar capital expenditures, or CapEx, that Microsoft and Meta are pouring into AI infrastructure. You can see the spending on data centers and chips climbing toward record highs. But look at the headcount line. While the spending on AI is surging, the number of employees is falling. These tech giants are essentially reallocating their budgets, moving money away from human salaries and toward the machines designed to replicate their work. These aren't isolated incidents. This is the new blueprint for a structural shift where the value created by technology is captured by shareholders, even as the workforce that built it is reduced. For most workers, the fear of being replaced isn't irrational. It's a logical response to watching the employment landscape change in real time. AI has moved past basic manual labor. It is now executing tasks that white-collar professionals once thought were safe, from generating software code to performing deep financial analysis and legal research. This is hitting law firms and banks particularly hard at the entry level. Junior associates used to spend years doing grunt work, document review and research that justified their starting salaries. Today, algorithms do that work in seconds, meaning firms are hiring much smaller classes of new graduates. The long-term problem is that those entry-level roles were the training grounds. It's where young professionals made mistakes and developed the high-level judgment required for senior leadership. By removing these roles, we aren't just losing jobs today, we are losing the mechanism that prepares the next generation of experts for the jobs of tomorrow. What makes this transition more difficult is the lack of a policy response. There are no national retraining programs and very few requirements for companies to support the workers displaced by these new tools. Past industrial shifts took decades to play out. This AI transition is happening at the speed of software, and the social safety net wasn't designed for a change this fast. And we are still in the early stages. Billions are currently being spent to move beyond simple chatbots towards artificial general intelligence, software that can match human cognitive performance across almost any task. Tech leaders like Elon Musk are already painting a picture of a work-optional future. It's a world where both mental and physical labor can be handled by machines, potentially making human employment unnecessary. But as we march toward that horizon, we still don't have an answer for what happens to the millions of people who rely on selling their labor to survive. Even with these macro threats looming, you still have agency over your own career. Survival requires a shift in how you define your value. The first strategy is to focus on judgment. An AI can generate a 1,000-page report, but it cannot take accountability for the final decision. Position yourself as the person who makes the call when the stakes are high. Second, lean into the parts of your job that require high emotional intelligence. Navigating office politics, reading the room during a negotiation, and building trust with a client are still extremely difficult for software to replicate. Finally, embrace adaptability. Rigid career paths are becoming a thing of the past. You have to be willing to constantly learn how to manage and direct these AI tools, rather than trying to compete on speed or volume. As software handles an increasing share of technical execution, the real career safety net isn't what you know, it's how well you can navigate the human side of the business.